Well, hello and welcome to the Waking Up Spiritually podcast. I'm so thrilled to have you here with us today. I'm Wendy Rose Williams. I'm a past life energy healer. I help people release pain, anxiety, depression, and other stuck energy that is not serving them. And with my co-host, Gregg Kirk, the reason we created this podcast is to just help normalize what it is like to wake up spiritually, because it can be discombobulating. It can just rock your world, both in amazing, wonderful ways and also in some very challenging ways. So we're here to support you in that process. And my website is wendyrosewilliams.com. And I'll turn the microphone over to my wonderful co-host, Gregg Kirk, and he will tell you about himself and then what we're going to do today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gregg Kirk. I'm an energy healer, both in person and remotely. I'm a Lyme disease advocate. I'm a certified health and wellness coach, and I help mainly Lyme patients because of what I went through with my Lyme healing journey more than 10 years ago. So you can come to my website at greggkirk.com. That's spelled GREGGKIRK.com. I also do a number of events. And I also would like to announce I've got this thing. It's my second book out, and would love to have you check that out on Amazon or my website. I've got both books up. I wrote a book and published a different book called The Gratitude Curve that was published in 2018. And this book is more or less what happened afterwards.
Your love will make the difference is the
Your
title.
love, yes, thank you.
Right?
Thank you. For those of you who are listening, you have no idea what I just held up. It's the cover of the book. So, yeah, if you're listening to the podcast, sorry about that. Thank you, Wendy, for keeping me in line. Yes, the name of the book is Your Love Will Make the Difference. And that more or less is what it really starts with events that occurred within weeks of publishing that first book. Hadn't counted on doing a sequel, but it's kind of like all these really wild and amazing and challenging and uplifting experiences happened over the next 7 years. So it was one of those things where I wrote them down, and then it finally got to a point where I thought I need to do something with this, and yeah, published it. So hope you enjoy it. It's up on Barnes and Noble. It's also on Amazon.com and my website, as I said. So Wendy and I, it's been a while since Wendy and I have done an episode just ourselves. We've had some really amazing guests for the almost, gosh, 10 months or so. Really great people. And so this today's episode is a bit of a hodgepodge. Some of our most watched episodes have been our spiritual myth breakers. Sorry, don't want to copyright infringe. Spiritual myth breakers episodes. So we're doing a bit of that today. We have had a lot of watches and hits on our paranormal episodes. We got a bit of that. Wendy, you've never seen something that I'm about to share. I'm really excited about. And so anyway, I guess without further ado, let's get going. And Wendy, can you tell people what is going to happen here?
Gregg's going to bring up a PowerPoint for those of you who are watching today. And our website is wakingupspiritually.com. So you're able to go there and go into the archive of all the past episodes and just see a couple of slides for each episode that can really bring the points home, particularly when it's an episode like today where we're doing spiritual myth breakers and just looking at some incredible images and video, etc.
Yes. Okay. So my view change. Oh, geez. All right. I'm sorry. My view is going crazy.
That's okay. We'll just give it a minute here. So as I mentioned, you're so welcome to check out the website, and it's got a search button on it too. So you can go in and just check, do you need help with past lives? Do you need help with life purpose, guides? What topic might be something that you really need some help with, and just give it a look. And if you're not finding a topic on something in the area of spirituality, in the area of energy, etc., give us a suggestion because we'd love to hear it. And we're very possibly can make an episode on that topic, or you might have a great speaker to recommend, particularly as you go through and see, as Gregg mentioned, some of those wonderful speakers that we've had join us over the last year or so.
Okay.
So, are you all set, Gregg?
I don't know. So,
Okay.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on. Zoom has changed. And are you able to see the,
I can see the first slide that says Spiritual Myth Breakers Edition 4.
okay. That's fantastic. That's all I care about. I can't see us right now, which doesn't matter. But so something changed, but I'll we're going to keep going. So yeah, Spiritual Myth Breakers 4. This is our fourth time doing at least a partial episode, including Myth Breakers. So what Wendy and I do is we take a topic. It's very reminiscent of the Mythbusters TV show, if you ever watched that, where they take an idea or a so-called myth and then play
Break it apart.
you break it apart. Yeah, see if it's true, see if it's plausible, or if it's busted. So, Wendy, let's start with our first one.
All right.
Wishing. Yes, topic number one. I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So the topic is wishing and manifesting are almost the same thing. So, in other words, the idea of wishing upon a star, wishing that something would happen, uh, and manifesting, which is wishing for something and having it come into your reality, are almost the same thing. What are your thoughts about this, Wendy?
They do not feel the same to me personally. Wishing feels uh, very passive, like, gee, wouldn't it be nice, but type of energy to it. What was it? My grandparents used to say, it was an old expression. If wishes were horses, beggars could ride.
Yes.
It's got this feeling of like, well, I'll be nice, but it's not going to happen, is how it feels to me. That's my
Mhm.
personal energy to that word. Whereas
Mhm.
manifesting feels much more active, like you're much more in your power. And it's also got that emotional component to it of feeling what it's going to feel like when XYZ comes to fruition. And that's part of the process of the manifesting, is then bringing it to present time.
Mhm.
That's a personal take on it. What are your feelings, Gregg?
Here are my feelings that wishing has the implication and energy of not having it now.
Mhm.
So, if you know anything about law of attraction, there's a component to wishing of scarcity, of you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that can really torpedo your manifesting. Now, Wendy and I did an entire episode on manifesting, and we can put that in the links to our YouTube video and elsewhere, or also in our podcast. We did an entire episode on it. And the whole thing, what's
Go,
that?
go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing about manifesting is you create the emotion and the feeling that you already have it, the thing that you want. And when you do that, the universe brings it to you. In fact, Esther Hicks, is very famous for the law of attraction videos and DVDs and things that have been around for a few decades, she says that if you actually create that feeling of having it, and it's usually a feeling of happiness or relief, that for 17 seconds, she says it's the law. The universe has to give it to you to some degree. So wishing is nothing like that. It's just like you said, Wendy. You're not in your power. It's almost lamenting that you don't have it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which creates a scarcity emotion, which creates a certain frequency, and you won't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Where manifestation involves either focused or unfocused emotional states, a generation, a frequency of attraction. So, in other words, if you have an unwitting feeling of, oh, I have a lot of money. I'm the kind of person who has a lot of money, and that's just kind of your attitude. You'll you'll keep getting money. and that's unfocused. But if you actually focus your attention, and you got to do it in a way that is easygoing, it's not like you're going to will your way into manifestation. You've got to set your frequency towards openness and whatever emotion that you expect that you'll feel when you have this thing. I frequently people stumble when, for instance, money's an easy one to, for people, most people want money, right? So when you ask somebody, if suddenly you had $1 million, how would that make you feel? Most people say happy, and that's really not what you feel when you get that money. It's a feeling of relief. It's a slight feeling of liberation that you don't have to worry about money so much. But it's a different feeling than happiness. So that's the difference between. So that's what manifesting is all about: dialing up your emotional state versus wishing, which is, oh, woe is me. I hope I get, and let me throw a penny in a fountain, and hopefully I'll get the thing that I want.
You also had a terrific speaker on this topic, Elaine Starling.
Yes.
She had an incredible near-death experience and had a stroke when she was quite young. And as she was on the other side, she was remembering so many things, including how to manifest in a really happy, healthy way. So we can also link that episode in today's show notes and check that one out, because she is just a bundle of joy and positivity, but very practical too. I think you'll enjoy that episode.
Right. And just to make a fine point here, emotional states and beliefs of being unworthy, feeling scarcity, blame, and comparisons can be blocks to your manifestation. So our talking point again, Wendy, was whoops, let me get back to it. Okay.
The talking point was wishing is the same as manifest.
Manifesting. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
I apologize. Usually I'm on it with the technical stuff, but today not so much. So anyway, our
Keep you
conclusion,
forward.
yeah, so our conclusion, it sounds like we're both of the same mind on this, that wishing and manifesting are very different.
Mhm.
You agree, Wendy?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Our next topic. There is a lesson to every experience you have in life. Every single experience you have, there's a lesson in it. And I think a lot of people think, well, there's a lot of coincidences that happen in life. And I don't think everything's a lesson. Maybe some things are a lesson, but certainly there's random, chaotic things that happen in our lives. So that have no rhyme or reason to them. I believe some people feel that way. And what are your thoughts on this, Wendy?
Personal belief is there's always a lesson, but we don't always choose to learn it. We don't always see the lesson. It might take many years to understand why something happened, particularly if it was something that felt very challenging or felt like something that was a loss or that we did not want or didn't meet our expectations. But that doesn't mean that there wasn't actually something that is an opportunity to propel ourselves forward, to learn, to grow, to evolve. So just like when you were in school, you may have had certain subjects that you just did not like. And I personally did not enjoy cracking open that statistics textbook. Oh, those were, don't talk to me about f of x. Those were just not some of my favorite, lessons to make it be a very, down to earth practical. So it's choice. There's absolutely choice to it. And some of us, depending on personality and abilities, are more interested in being lifelong learners, and just our soul really wants to express and grow and see things as lessons, and others are like, as you said, just like, nope, 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 it's just all random, nope, has no meaning. And I do not feel that way at all.
Yes. And I really like your point about just because we don't realize what the lesson is or even believe that there is a lesson, maybe there is anyway. Um, so let's talk about this. We, Wendy, we've also done an episode where we hit upon this idea that life isn't happening to you or punishing you, it's clearing the way for new experiences. It's usually always happening, not usually, it is always happening for you. So when you remove yourself from the victim mentality and your energy lightens, it becomes a better experience. And then you can realize, what the lessons are. So, every experience in your life is a potential for, if you don't want to look at it as a lesson, then look at it as a gift of experience. Even the things that were painful, life-changing in a way that might have injured you or things like that. I always use my experience with Lyme disease. I went through 12 years of Lyme. I felt like it was a punishment in my life for the longest time, more than a decade. And finally, as I was climbing out of it, I was looking back on it. And through most of it, I felt like it was a punishment for me, or, I couldn't understand why it had happened to me. I'd been so healthy. Everything had been going so well in my life. And these kind of things tend to happen to people with that life description. So as I looked back, I was like, well, you know what? I can take my experiences. I can tell people about it. I can help people avoid some of the pitfalls I experienced. I can help people heal from some of the things that I learned. I can take all of the experience, the good and the bad and the indifferent, and wrap that up and present it to people or help people, guide them through it as best I can. And and for that reason, I look at it as a gift of experience. It's not something that I would want to go through again, but I'm glad I did. That's the punchline to the title of my first book, The Gratitude Curve. I became grateful for every bit of that experience, even the stuff that almost killed me. So, there's that old saying by Friedrich Nietzsche, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And yes, but it also makes you wiser. And to me, that's what I took away. I didn't feel like it had, turned me into some kind of, warrior or something, but it turned me into a wiser person. And for anybody going through like chronic illness and things like that, it made me more sympathetic to them. Anyway, so looking at your life, if you're looking at your life where you're keeping score, and that kind of scarcity energy, you'll block the idea that everything is an opportunity for you, a gift of experience or a lesson. And all right, this is stuff that comes right out of my book. We got channeled information during one of the healing circles that I run, and the guides were like, okay, here's some of the major lessons that you learn throughout the course of your life. You learn patience, you learn detachment, you learn forgiveness, and you learn grace. And I mean, I think some of those don't need much explanation. I think we all understand patience. Patience is a virtue, trying to beat your way through life in a frantic and chaotic way it's not good for you. It's not good for the people around you. So learning patience in life is a big thing. But detachment, this is a big one. This is you detaching from the people, places, and things in your life that you love. And it's not to detach your love from them, it's detach your energetic attachment to them. You can develop cordial attachments or unhealthy attachments to people, places, or things. I mean, how you can gauge that perhaps is when you look at if any of these things that you love in your life were removed, would that devastate your life? Would that make you unhealthy? And if the answer is yes, then you need to look at how you can energetically detach from these things, still loving them and appreciating them and being grateful that they're in your life, but being able to distance yourself energetically so that you can maintain your own energy. It's a life mastery lesson. I mean, let's face it, it's not easy for people to do that, especially, with loved ones, married couples, your home, things like that. And then, of course, forgiveness, we all know forgiveness helps unwind karma for both you and the person that you forgive. And then grace, the, the, the energetic formula for grace that the guides gave us was love plus wisdom equals grace. So if you can apply wisdom to your love, or love to your wisdom, then you're walking in grace, which is walking in the light of the creator, is how they put it. So I'm going to stop talking, Wendy. There was a lot for me to unravel there, but what are your thoughts?
That's just wonderful and amazing. And I'm looking forward to a future episode, Gregg, where we're going to talk about just those amazing backstories of what led to you writing both of the books, as well as mine. So
Yeah.
be just wonderful to do that. And I love your point here too on the side that keeping score doesn't make it happen sooner. Like that watched pot does not boil.
Right, right.
Be faster because you were glaring at it.
Exactly. Yeah. And if anything, we know it. I mean, that saying, watch kettle never boils, that comes from Benjamin Franklin. Like, that's how long ago people were noticing.
He had a lot of very pithy, truisms and just so many quotable quotes from Benjamin Franklin.
Yes. But what a cool thing for him to understand that, as you're watching it, it really doesn't boil as well. I mean, I don't know if anybody's, well, actually, that'd be a good real Mythbusters show, thing to debug to see if it really does affect it. But honestly, it does, because there have been other studies done where just simply, and these are quantum studies done, where just your presence or your witnessing an event affects it. Whether,
Absolutely.
so we know that is a thing. So
Dr. Enomoto and praying over the water and
yeah,
just
yep.
how that changed the water, or the experiments with working with different plants and having a series of plants and just being so encouraging and speaking so kindly to one plant versus another plant, telling it, you're the worst, you're never going to grow, and just being abusive to the plant. I mean, they've had kids in grade school and junior high and high school do some of these experiments, and it's pretty amazing to see the differences. So we absolutely impact everything around us, whether we're conscious of it or not.
Absolutely. So let's call this one, Wendy. Every experience in your life has a lesson attached to it. You say yes or no?
I say yes. I say there's an opportunity to
Yeah, right.
learn from it. Yes.
I love that. That's a yes. There's an opportunity for a lesson, whether you accept it, or, as your earlier point, whether you realize it or not, there is a lesson there. So yeah, thank you. Okay, so we've got a bit of a paranormal update for 2025. Wendy and I have done entire episodes, two or three of them, I believe, where we've shown our own, our own photographs, our own videos, and or that of our viewers. And so today I've got a few that are a combination. So I just wanted to show. And Wendy, I don't believe has seen these. Okay, so this first one is, my wife took this, and this is a graveyard. What's the difference between graveyard and cemetery? I can't remember, Wendy. One of them is on the grounds of a church. So this is not in the grounds of a church. So whatever this one is, graveyard, I guess. No, I think it's cemetery is the one that's not in the grounds of the church. Anyway, this is very old cemetery. I live in a New England town that was incorporated in 1635, I believe. So it's very old. So there's a lot of people who have been buried here who were buried in the late 1600s and mid 1700s and even 1800s. Anyway, you can see, I've got my cursor out here. When she took this picture, she didn't see this. She didn't see this really huge orb that was here. She took this picture because she's a part she follows somebody who's local around here who does like ghost sighting. So she took this, basically the person in this group said, just go to your local cemetery, take a picture, and I'll decipher it. And anyway, this one we could easily see that this was a probably very close to her, was some sort of energy of a human. She had another picture that where it looked like somebody was in one of the windows of these of this building back here, but I don't have that a copy of that. But anyway, Wendy, what do you think here?
It just feels like it just feels like going on up to the light. I mean, I don't know if that's a new gravestone there that where it's originating on the ground. I can't quite tell because it looks like there's some sort of marker, but it's not above ground like the others are. So it's just so interesting how that's just going on up to the light and becoming more colorful. I mean, it looks like it's becoming almost like a rainbow
Yeah.
as as it goes on up. To me, it feels like passing on up to the light.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. To me, this looks like, I mean, we've shown a lot of orb photos. This is very close. Like, and my wife is one of these people who can see dead people, by the way. So I mean, I think a lot of times these beings come close to her. So I think possibly that's what's going on a little bit, because the videos and the photographs we tend to see the orbs are a bit off in the distance. So to me, it feels like this being was right up, right next to my wife when she took it. Okay, next one. So this was from one of our listeners, shared with us a long time ago, months and months ago. And I barely even know what to make of this. What
I feel like I'm looking at an episode of Ghostbusters, the movie, with
Yeah.
ectoplasm. It's just
Right.
there's just so much there. Let
Yeah.
me ask my guides. It feels like there's a white kitty and the cat's coming back to play and just putting on quite the show.
Hmm.
Yeah, very interesting.
We had somebody share something like this years ago in one of I think our first paranormal episode, where we'd seen plenty of orbs, but we saw these tube-like things.
Mm-hmm.
And this looks like one of those. Um,
Mm-hmm. Like a
so yeah, it's not a streak, by the way. So this isn't like elapsed time kind of thing where an orb traveled around this area. This appeared as one long tube, or whatever you want to call this. Um, the thing about the other tubes is they all kind of had the same width, you know. And this one, it looks like it's kind of fat towards the end, and on one end it's very wide, and the other end it's kind of skinny. So it also has dark and bright spots in it too that I've not ever seen. So really, really wild looking.
like my guides say we're looking at the previous cat who lived in this house and it's come back and it's created a portal and it's helping other animals or stuck entities cross on over, and then that's what those more pronounced white orbs are toward the more narrow left end that are coming up from the ground. Is it's
Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I
up
love that. I love that.
light, and that's why it gets bigger and more open once they've made their way into the portal, and it gets
Right.
easier to go on up.
Kind of that vortex phenomenon, it sounds like that.
I've
Yeah.
never seen anything like this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's very wild. That's why I thought it would be great to share. Okay. Now I've blurred the faces out of the people involved here. But this is somebody who he had in this photograph he has cancer, and he passes less than a week later. The person who took this photograph, I just want you to understand, there was no open window, in that could have caused this light. You see this person, light is coming out of him. I mean, if you didn't know any better, you would think, oh, well, there's a skylight in the room, it's shining down on him, or there's a light behind the photographer, so this the beam of light is shining through the window and shining directly on this person. That is not the case. So I mean, he's literally glowing, which is fascinating to me because my impression here is his light body is starting to leave his physical body. It's getting ready because, like I said, he did pass within the week after this occurred.
Was my
And
impression too, Greg, was he's going back into light body form
yeah,
quite literally.
yeah, exactly. The transition is already starting, you know, days before his the actual transition took place. So I've heard of this. I've never seen it. I mean, this is a fascinating photograph to me. Where, the person who took it I don't believe she saw this either. I mean, it wasn't like, I mean, I think she would have been pretty startled if hey, you're glowing, I don't know if I think she took the picture and then she shared it with my wife and was like, wow, this is really, really amazing. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it was to go with our last topic. There's a lesson in everything. The lesson that I learned from this is, as like your body knows, your guides know when you're about to pass. And this, to me, this is a photograph of the body and the light body making the preparation, the early stages of the full transition from physicalness to passing to the other side. Do you have anything else to add, Wendy, or any?
Think it's just such a beautiful, beautiful picture. It's also the kindness and the caring and the compassion, in giving the massage and just working to help keep this person comfortable,
Yeah.
and just the letting go, and just starting to go up. I think it helps us not be so much in fear of the unknown, because we have passed on many times before. We've dropped our body many, many times, and our body knows what to do. And with the wonderful, modern healthcare that we've got, we don't have to be in terrible pain. Again, I so appreciated having Dr. Chris Kerr, Kerr, as one of our guests, and he is the director of hospice. And just the things that he has seen and learned in over 25 years of doing that. That was a wonderful, wonderful conversation and episode. It's like we barely scratched the surface with him, because there was just so much to the topic. And he does have a YouTube, which I think he tongue in cheek named it, I see dead people.
Yeah.
He's done filming. So again, the photographs and the filming and he's just applied just rigorous methodology to these studies. These are scientific studies that Chris Kerr has done, showing how people come to a place of peace. Almost everyone comes to a place of peace and just starts sleeping more, as they're passing on, and is able to pass on with assistance from not only loved ones on Earth, and perhaps the healthcare workers that are assisting, but from the other side too. Those relatives, parents coming for them. And we also did that fantastic episode with Julie Ryan.
Yes.
She's got an incredible methodology of, who comes in what order and where they stand, and how they help people pass on.
The relatives and the pets even that come back to help the transition. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
got a fascinating story, or a fascinating, like you said, methodology. Okay, Wendy, I'm going to stop the sharing here for a second.
Okay.
Get ready. This is the coolest one yet. So, okay, let me get this going here. All right. So I'm going to share a video. So let's get this happening. And, okay, why? Okay.
And while Greg's doing that, again, I'll give you our website, which is wakingupspiritually.com. So check it out and you'll find all episodes there because we have been podcasting now for over 5 years.
Okay. Why did that not work? Okay. Here we go. One more time.
The
uh,
feeling.
okay. Here we go. This should work. Wow.
So I
So
can see the screen that you want to share, Greg. So is it a matter of clicking on the video or?
yeah, this is crazy. Oh, nope. Okay. Um, one more time. Um, there we go. And we got this share and here we go. So let's look at, hopefully we'll be able to see this video. Are you able to see?
I
Look,
saw you click on it. I see it checked. I don't yet see it playing. Maybe it just needs another moment, or does it need another click?
do you see anything now?
Nope. I just see your screen of a choice of 6 or 8 options to play.
Okay. I just stopped sharing and try one more time. Okay, there we go. This should work. Okay,
Here it comes.
there we go.
It's something different.
Okay, you see, this is okay. Let me stop here. So, this is a video I shared. I videoed, filmed with my wife's phone because she's got a better camera than me. And it's one of those things where we were sitting on our back patio, just enjoying our backyard and birds and watching birds and so forth. My wife noticed something in the distance, and so did I. We saw two different things. The second one disappeared as far as we could tell. And at first, I thought it was a mylar balloon because it was kind of tumbling through the air, but it wasn't just flying around like a balloon. It was coming towards us with purpose. The thing is, it was kind of tumbling towards us. One side of it seemed to be very silver. Another side seemed to be black. It seemed to be, at first, I just thought it was a sphere, but then the closer I could see, it was a dodecahedron, which is more or less like an octagon, um, a lot of octagon or a three-dimensional octagon. Um, so we filmed it, and I'm going to keep going on this, and then I'm going to. You can see some lights.
So eight-sided. Okay.
Yeah, and you see some lights blinking a little bit.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Mylar balloons don't do that, by the way, Greg.
Something just went by the screen, by the way, really fast. And we're going to do what's called scrubbing the video because I'm going to show you something. So, this is one of those things where I don't know if anybody's ever watched the TV show Skinwalker Ranch, but they have experiences like this all the time where they'll film something. They're like, wow, look at that. That's a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon, because this is not a flying saucer classic UFO. This is a UAP. So, um, and what they tend to do is they'll film these things, and then as they slow the video down, they'll see other things flying around that were not originally viewable to the naked eye. So I just want you to understand, I was filming this. No birds flew in front of me. No insects flew in front of me at all. But watch, I'm going to show you a couple things. I'm going to slow this down there we go. And then I'm also going to hopefully increase it. Properties. All right. All right. Sorry, video property. All right, well, I'm just going to go with this. Okay, right. In the next few seconds, I'm going to run my cursor here. You're going to see something fly up this way, and then you're going to see something fly across that way. So for those of you who are listening to the podcast, we're looking at some weird,
Flying up, straight up, and also right to
also
left.
horizontal. So from bottom to top, and then from right to left. Um, and I will just keep an eye. It should start. It happened already. Wow. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is gonna make a difference, I believe. I'm gonna try.
That's a much better view.
Yeah. Okay. Frustrating. Let
It's
me,
interesting to see the silver on one side and the black on the other, because now I can really see that, and I've never seen anything like that, Greg.
yep. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, so I'm going to, luckily I took screen grabs of it because, I thought we were going to actually be able to see it. So, I, okay. So you see this, Wendy?
Yes.
Yeah. So see this blur here to the right?
Yes.
All right. So that's the first thing I noticed around 25, 26, 27 seconds in. I was looking at this video and I saw something fly up very quickly from the bottom to the top and then from the right to the left. Two different things. I'm like, what the heck was that? And that's that's as focused as I could get. It was moving so fast. Then, and I didn't even, as I was preparing the slides and the video for today, yesterday, I noticed this later in the video, even more profound. Look at this thing up here. I don't know what that is. It looks to have a little bit of silver and black to it, but it's more oblong shaped, almost pumpkin seed like, I guess. And it shot by the screen from lower right to upper left. And so all kinds of activity was taking place around this thing, unseen to the human eye because of how fast they were moving. So this is an unseen thing in our world. There are things that move so fast they appear invisible to us, and this is, I believe, what we're seeing right here. So here was this orb. It's not even an orb. This object, this dodecahedron, is octagonal thing tumbling through the sky. And by the way, one of them left, and this was the one that we saw, and it just went by us. It had lights flashing on it in different spots. It looked like it had three spots that had white lights flashing. And then these other things were flying all around it at a speed not visible to the human eye. So I thought, I've seen this kind of thing, not exactly on Skinwalker Ranch. I've seen where they've had an orb, and then as they slow the video down, oh my God, look at this thing shooting by very quickly. So I've seen that. But the craziest thing happened. Now, I just want everybody to understand, I was not looking for any of this, right?
You're just sitting out in the backyard,
Yes.
relaxing.
I'm relaxing in the backyard, and I don't know what I'm looking at, you know? Well, I found out because I also watch a show on YouTube called Area 52 by a guy named Chris Ramsey. He's a Canadian guy. He's got the most detailed videos and research. He does deep dive research all the way back into the early days of ufology, you know, when we were calling it UFO stuff. He just recently had a full, you know, almost 2 hour interview with, now I'm blanking on his name, Travis Walton. Travis Walton had a very famous um, Close Encounter of the Fifth Kind, where you're actually abducted and you have interactions with aliens, that they made a movie out of in 1995 called Fire in the Sky. So I mean, he's a legit guy in my estimation. He's got cool interviews, and I'd say a few weeks after me witnessing this, I I see this. He interviews a guy named Patrick Jackson. All right, so get ready, buckle up. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. I'm sorry, but I think those of you who stay with me on this, your mind is going to be expanded. You may end up thinking, that's crazy. That's so far fetched, because that's exactly what Chris Ramsey says. But the thing that got my attention is, for those of you looking at this slide, look at the two screen grabs. Do those look familiar to you? Because that's what grabbed my attention. Those look very, very much like what I just filmed.
Absolutely.
And these were filmed years ago, decades ago. Okay. So anyway, this guy, Patrick Jackson, has, let me read this. Sorry. Trying my best here. Ay, caramba. Okay. Yes. He has discovered what's all right. I can't.
I can read it, Greg. So the
Okay.
Sphere Network is a hidden intelligent defense system operating in Earth's skies. These enigmatic orbs aren't visitors from another world. They're part of a vast interconnected network designed to monitor, communicate, and, when necessary, protect our planet. They are ancient and have been reported throughout history, but their appearance and behavior has been extensively studied by Patrick Jackson and acknowledged by the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Now that's fascinating.
Yeah. So let me unpack this. So what grabbed me was the preview of the interview with Patrick Jackson. They showed a couple of these videos with screen grabs that you see there, on the slide. It looks very, very much identical to what I just witnessed. So I'd never seen anything like this until I witnessed it myself. So after me filming my thing, I'm watching this show where these people are talking about the same things I just witnessed that I never knew about. So that's fascinating. But then it gets weirder and wilder. Patrick Jackson came across this phenomenon not because he was looking for UFO stuff. He's one of these guys who's a debunker. So he's a myth buster himself. And he lives in Ireland. And there's a place in Ireland that is supposedly the most haunted place in Ireland. And he just decides, I'm going to go and spend a whole week in this house and debunk what's going on. They got the most poltergeist activity of any place in Ireland. So he said the first 4 days were the hardest the most terrifying 4 days of his life because of all the activity he witnessed. But he's a tech guy. He's very analytical, and he started noticing that he noticed that the behavior was not human-like because he started noticing patterns. So he basically said what he noticed was this certain activity would start to happen where he would hear a pounding like in the basement or a knocking at the door in a very creepy way, and it was clearly trying to lure him to where that sound was, so he would investigate. If he didn't go down there, he would notice an orb passing through, and he took tons of photographs. All of this is very well documented, by the way. An orb would pass by him and go to a certain room, and then he would notice he wouldn't be in the room, but if he was near it, it would make him feel ill, and he would have certain symptoms. Let me just cut to the chase. He found that these orbs were emitting gamma rays and microwaves. And if you are exposed to those, you have a certain you feel sick, you feel anxious, and that's exactly what he was feeling. So why was this activity taking place? He said these orbs are information. These are mainly they're going around gathering information. they're scanning, they're on patrol. And if they see humans around them, that they'll do this poltergeist activity to get the humans away. Why? Because his theory is, do you remember back in, oh God, decades and decades ago, you used to hear about humans spontaneously combusting. I don't know if you
Right.
remember that, but that was a thing that people used to talk about.
Yes.
His idea is that back in the day, these orbs, whenever they would transmit and radiate all this stuff, it would make people burst into flame. And the weird thing about anybody who ever came upon somebody who had spontaneously combusted, they were never in pain. Their body was never, reacting or anything. They were just sitting there, and then they burst into flame. So his whole idea is that, okay, this is an AI network, and they realized, okay, we made mistakes. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to create this behavior where we're going to scare people away from our transmission. So anyway, at this point, Chris Ramsey is like, dude, this is so far-fetched. I'm having a hard time staying with you on this. And he goes, okay, fair enough. But then he shows a sequence of videos of these orb crafts, or whatever you want to call them, the dodecahedrons that I showed. And he shows them in groups of threes, and them triangulating around objects in the sky as a protection thing. He's got he's got an actual video where somebody is looking through a telescope and they're watching these three orbs triangulate around something and it disintegrates, it blows up. Anyway, so his whole idea is that there's a sphere network around us. It's protecting us. It is AI generated. It is improving itself. When it makes mistakes, it doesn't do the same thing again. And that you see ground level orbs that look like white light going through could go through a building or go through outdoors. It needs to scare people away so it can transmit. But then there is a network of orbs in the sky and around our planet that seem to be protecting us from meteor storms and things like that, and also from invaders of any kind. And I don't know if our listeners will remember, but within the past 10 years, the early warning system in Hawaii was set off by supposedly a sub shot a nuclear missile towards Honolulu, and the early warning system went off, and that's not something you can fake. It doesn't go off for no reason. And then all of a sudden we heard, oh, nothing to see here. It was a mistake. And people who are in the military were like, nope, there's no way that can be faked, or there's no mistakes. Something happened. There was a missile that went up, but for some reason it disappeared. It didn't hit Hawaii. Anyway, it was all hushed up and brushed to the side. And this is just my own speculation. I wonder if the sphere network took that thing out, because that's basically what it's designed to do. Patrick Jackson says, this network has been around, he thinks, like for thousands of years, because and again, if you want to watch this interview and go down the rabbit hole in this, it's called Area 52. Check it out on YouTube. And they show accounts from the 1800s, the 1600s, the 1400s of orbs passing through people's homes, outside, things blowing up in the sky that have orbs around them. So anyway, it's very fascinating. Thank you for bearing with me. But my connection to this clearly is there's an unmistakable connection to what I filmed and to what they were showing on their video. Now, whether it's the sphere network and whether you believe in that or whatever, I don't care. But I can't ignore how much it looks like, this broadcast on Area 52. So, Wendy, what do you think about it? Thanks for bearing with me, by the way.
That's just amazing, and that you were able to capture those photos of it, because as you said, it certainly looks like what we're looking at. So
Yep.
food for thought.
Food for thought, absolutely. All right, Wendy. Here we go. Can you see that?
Yes, so we're going to start to wrap up here
Yes.
and
I'm sorry. Sorry for the abrupt transition. Yes.
let everyone know that my most recent book, Regression Healing 2, Joe and Marilyn, is available in audiobook format as well as paperback and on Kindle. And you can find that via Amazon and any other bookseller that you like to use. And I so appreciated this reader review. And what this gentleman wrote was, as a student of near death, out of body, and spiritually transformative experiences, I found Joe and Marilyn the most compelling resource I've encountered in this genre. In a series of past life regression sessions, Wendy lays bare her soul from both sides of the veil in the most vulnerable and sensitive narrative possible. The reader is exposed to spiritual concepts and perspectives rarely attempted in print media. I cannot recommend Joe and Marilyn highly enough. So thank you so much to that kind reader. And everyone enjoys a good backstory. So you can enjoy what led to some of the events that led to my writing Joe and Marilyn on the Ask Julie Ryan show. And as I mentioned, Julie has been one of our amazing guests. And I linked that podcast with her where we talked about it. And she just had some great questions and insights. So,
Very cool, Wendy. And as we discussed, hopefully we'll do an upcoming episode where
yes.
we talk about the making of, how you could.
Yes. And Gregg, please tell us more about what led to your two books and the making of your books.
Yeah. So just as so I've got two books out. The first one is The Gratitude Curve, published in 2018. And the second book is Your Love Will Make the Difference, which just came out in the middle of this month in September of 2025. And so the new book is a handbook on how to achieve and maintain remission from a chronic illness. It's also a guidebook of spiritual adventures, and it's a compilation of information from sources outside of human understanding. In other words, some channeled information. Um, and so it's, all those things. So if you're a Lyme patient, it's got some stuff in there for you. If you're interested in channeled information, it's got that. And then the first part of the book is more or less written like a novel. It's my experiences, that occurred. A lot of the supernatural experiences that started occurring like literally within weeks of publishing The Gratitude Curve. So it's a lot of fun. And interesting, hopefully. So check it out.
Absolutely. I had the good fortune to be one of the test readers for it. You will enjoy it. So check it out.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And just a quick thing is I'm doing an event. So whenever you're watching this, this is we're in the last day or two of September 2025, but on October 4th, I'm doing an energy healing event, but it's also a book signing event at a place called the Sticks and Stones Farm in Newtown, Connecticut. Would love to have you there. I'll be doing a book signing. We'll be doing a discussion on the current state of Lyme disease in the area, a guided meditation, and then also the opportunity to sign up for one-on-one sessions, energy healing sessions with me. So it is $40. And you can go to my website, greggkirk.com, and click the events link to check that out. And Wendy, we've got.
Yes.
Yes.
Join us October 13th. So in 2 weeks for the next episode of the Waking Up Spiritually podcast, visit our website at wakingupspiritually.com. And there you can find all the previous broadcasts, as I mentioned. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then you will know when new content comes up. We so appreciate you rating and reviewing us on Apple iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts, because it helps other like-minded people get the support and just get that information that they need. And visit Gregg at his website, which is greggkirk.com, and visit me at my website, wendyrosewilliams.com, to learn how to work together. So thank you, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.